Hey everybody, what's up? It's Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies, we would hold the truth hostage. Now, I did a live stream, shout out to my brothers, and my brothers on the journey of truth, Caduceus and Iori. We did a stream on, ghosting or caspering. But we had such a deep convo. We went so many places, that I didn't get to fully break it down in detail. So this video is titled Caspers. You see, what's going on, what's happening is this. Ghosting has been here since the start of, the manosphere, MGTOW. Since MGTOW started, there's been this whole notion of ghosting, and in the black community there's always been ghosting to begin with, with how you move and not leaving a trace. But ghosting is a term that I think the term is over 10 years now. And what's happened is a lot of men, with how much and how open society is with the demonization of men, with how much society is basically placing the action of destroying a man as an achievement. You could look online, there's so many stories that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would not believe, but it's happened. Boys getting locked up in school for accidentally touching a girl to say hello. You know what I'm saying? The fact that, you got, so many men being openly destroyed. You had the Cosby cases. You had, I forget the Supreme Court judge in Congress where a woman brought him up from 50 years ago without any evidence. There's so much happening. There's so much open animosity towards men. The media is just promoting it. But the media has done something they don't understand. The manosphere is old, man. It is over 10 years now. Stardust, you know what I'm saying? Sandman, there's so many that came before that left so many phrases, ghosting, what I mean? Ghosting is mainstream now. But what's happening is that men are alternative. They're changing. Men are evolving. Men are realizing that why ghost people? You know what I'm saying? Why ghost people? Why ghost people to begin with? You see, the thing about ghosting is this. Ghosting is when you get involved with somebody and then you ghost them, as in, you don't show up, you don't, for example, you got a date set up and, you just didn't show up, you know what I mean? Or you basically relieve yourself from somebody's life completely. But what a lot of men are realizing is that ghosting is a part-time fix. It's a part-time fix. And the problem with ghosting is that you're open. You know what I'm saying? You get involved in whatever shape or form, then you ghost people. But what's going on is men are evolving, and especially the younger men that are absorbing this manosphere information. I mean, I've seen it on MGTOW Dictionary stream where, you'll see some teenagers try to come in. I've even had that scenario where young teens try to get in and we tell them, this is for 18 and up. But you got to think it's spread to the point where you got twigtow now, teens or, teens going their own way, you know what I'm saying? Or young men going their own way or whatever, they're going their own way at that age. Young teenagers are evolving. And what the internet doesn't understand, what people don't understand that's going on is that with the internet, there's so much information and it's so fast. You know what I mean? It's not a book, it's not a newspaper. There's actually no time for updates on the internet. It just comes. So you have these teenage boys at age 13 absorbing this knowledge. And when they absorb the manosphere knowledge, they watch the content from guys, they're getting information that matures their mind beyond their age. So you have, for example, let's say a teenager, let's say he's 13, were to watch my content, were to watch content from, MGTOW Dictionary, were to watch content from Sandman, content from, other guys in the manosphere, Darius MGTOW, they watch all this content that's telling them of the world that awaits them when they get older. So they absorb and internalize this information. So now you have a 13-year-old boy walking around with the knowledge of a 30-year-old man. So what's happened is with these teenagers and they're learning, they're absorbing and understanding that, dude, there's such a high risk, there's such target on you for being a boy. You know what I'm saying? They're adapting quick and they're realizing, why even ghost people? Why even ghost people, man? Why even take the time to get involved, then ghost somebody? You know what I'm saying? You leave a trail. Then that person could say, you know what? Man, this person promised me this. They didn't show up. Then they could put some claims on you or some issues. So a lot of young men to older men are, we didn't have a term for it. I took some time. I came up with the term. It's called Casper. And if you ever watched the movie Casper the Friendly Ghost, you'll know the meaning of Casper. Casper was a ghost. You know what I'm saying? He was a full-time ghost. And what's happening is a lot of young men and a lot of men are becoming Caspers. They're going full-time as ghosts. And what happens when you're a full-time ghost is that in this society is that you're no longer bound by anything. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it from a perspective of being a full-time ghost, being a Casper. When you're a Casper, you can't get married as a ghost. A ghost can't get married. A ghost can't have any girlfriends. A ghost can't have any long-term relationships. A ghost can't be held down by anybody. You know what I'm saying? A ghost doesn't look to accomplish anything in this society. A ghost is basically here because they have unfinished business. And a lot of men are adapting that and becoming Caspers. And when a man becomes Casper, there is no longer anything the world, the country domestically he's in has to offer him. He's only here for unfinished business. And what is this unfinished business? Obtaining resources, working, you know what I'm saying, making money, and so on. So eventually when this man, for example, like I said, I got a video here, takes the gold pill or the black pill, where a man seeks solutions outside of his domestic country. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men are going Casper, boys to men. They're going Casper. They're becoming full-time ghost. And the reason it's a response to this society. I mean, think about it. The society's after you as a man. There's a target on you full time. Full time, there's a target on you. So a lot of boys and men are responding by saying, dude, society's after me full time. So what's the point in ghosting people when I should become a ghost, when I should be a ghost full time? I should not be bound physically to anything in this society. I should be a full-time ghost. I should go Casper. I should Casper my life. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it, man. Life domestically has become a job. Shout out to Caduceus, me and Caduceus, and shout out to David Little. We were talking. And we talked, and as we spoke, we realized, dude, life is a full-time job now. For a man, there is no off days. You know what I'm saying? Life has become for a man, you're either working or you're casual. You know how you got casual Fridays where you're allowed to get a little loose. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to wear your different clothes, not your suit and tie. You're allowed to be a little more loose. So a lot more men, as me and Caduceus and David Little spoke, realized, dude, it's full-time work. You know what I'm saying? And I made a video called After the Dangers of Success in the Dating Simulation, where I go over it, and you will realize that, dude, life for a man is just working 24/7. And the reason I say you're working is there's no off days for a man is that you have to be on your best behavior in society at all times. Because if anything they can get on you for just being a man, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So that even equates to you being homeless. I mean, if you're homeless, you still got to be aware I'm a man and there's a target on me 24/7. I mean, you could look it up. They had videos where, you know what I'm saying, an Uber driver was driving some ladies, and they were screaming rape on that Uber driver. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the greatest case, the greatest case I'd say of all is a man in Australia, I think it was Australia, volunteered to help this woman. He helped her fix her car that broke down. Took 5 hours to fix her car. He just did a good deed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He gave her a hug, and on his way home, she said he tried to rape her. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening is a lot of men are realizing there's so many cases and it's so available, and they openly flaunted the media, just flaunting the destruction of a male life, be it by divorce, be it by alimony, child support, be it by just a domestic dispute that they didn't even start. They even flaunt in humorosity. Well, that's a good word, humorosity. They even flaunted in humorosity that issues that happen to a man. If, like, for example, there was a case not too long ago where a man's penis was cut off, and The View and all these female hosted shows laughed about it, or the man where they put his penis in a disposable unit. You know what I mean? So a lot of men are watching this, and you've even had CNN come out where they said, oh, not enough men are earning enough money they're not economically viable enough for marriage. So a lot of men are realizing, oh, so you just said that it is about money. It's 100% about money. And it isn't about, if she's so independent, why does she target me for my money? So a lot of men are going full time. They're going full time as ghosts. And, they're not ghosting anybody anymore. Why you don't need to ghost anybody when you're a Casper. If you're Casper, you're already a ghost. You know what I'm saying? So there's no point. You have no ties, no connections or binds to anyone. And what's happening is all these men, and some of them are going Casper without even knowing it. Shout out to Joe, I think my man Joe Barosov, who said one of his homies is a Casper. You know what I'm saying? He's going Casper and doesn't even know it, or does know it, where he's in a college campus because of how rabid they promote this false aspect of all men are, rapists and all that. Especially on a college campus, is a lot of men are just basically, dude, they don't connect. Besides going to class, doing their classwork, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? And you can see, you gotta understand the aspect of going Casper. If you watch, and I recommend after this, you're gonna do two things after watching this video. You're gonna go watch Casper the Friendly Ghost, the one from the 90s. It's pretty good. And you're going to start from now on, and I would recommend you do it is that whenever you post a comment on YouTube, anywhere you post a comment, just put the ghost, I think the ghost emoji at the beginning of your sentence and at the end. Use the ghost emoji. Let people know you are a ghost. And when you're a ghost, that automatically tells them there is no physical attachments for you in this domestic world. You know what I'm saying? Domestically. Because of the legalities, you have no domestic attachments. Some guys will say, well, you'll hold the truth hostage. Why'd you tell people you're a Casper? Because, man, letting people know up front, dude, I'm a Casper, bro. That automatically lets them know you have no attachment to anything physically at all. You know what I'm saying? And what's going on is a lot of, boys to men are, as you could even look. You could look at how much money gaming is making now. From your mobile phones to consoles, PC, how much men are just diving into gaming full time. A good example is look at something like a GTA Online. GTA Online, where people have been playing that game since 2014. Some from multiple consoles, from the I think it was from PS3 to PS4. You know what I'm saying? I think was it? Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah, so or was it the PS4? I don't remember. But they've been playing on multiple console generations. So what's happening is a lot of boys and men are realizing, dude, there's so much risk in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? In a physical world, me having any ties, any bonds to it domestically, that the only safe realm is the gaming realm. So a lot more men, and you've even seen it. You could look on YouTube how you see a lot of gamers, and these gamers are your normal, average looking guys. It isn't that old stereotype in the 90s where if you're a gamer, you had these, turtle shell glasses. No, it's the average guy. The average guy is just gaming. You know what I'm saying? Dedicating their time to playing games, meeting their friends on games or LAN parties, whatever. A lot of guys are turning to gaming to basically remain in that state of Casper. You know what I'm saying? Where they're going Casper. So a lot of men are basically avoiding the reality, because reality with the real world comes risk, comes unjustified risk in the eyes of men, and boys. And a lot of boys are absorbing the information of the men before them. And there are some men that say, well, you're young, you should do this and that. But a lot of the young boys are realizing, if I do what you tell me to do, live recklessly, have too much fun, I could go to juvenile hall, or worst case scenario, my record could be charged as an adult, even though I'm a teen. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of young men and a lot of boys are gonna go Casper. They're realizing that, dude, there is no point domestically with how the laws are and how they're playing target practice on men 24/7. Even though men are the majority of cops, the majority of firemen, the majority of people risking their lives to build and save people, they're the ones being demonized. So a lot of the men are realizing, man, there ain't no point, bro. There's no point. And it's having a very negative aspect. And the thing is this, as the boys and men go Casper, it's not really going to affect the boys, really. Because the boys and men, the males already know the mission. I'm going to get my resources. I'm going to graduate high school. I'm going to graduate my trade school or my college. I'm just going to gather my resources, like a ghost, a ghost with unfinished business. I'm just here to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have think about it. The laws are being going Casper. You're not going to have any emotional attachments. You're not going to have any physical attachments. You're not going to have any, access or placing yourself at a point of risk. You're not going to attach to anyone at all. You're basically going to wander the world as a ghost. That's what it means Casper. You don't have to ghost anyone when you're a Casper. Casper is being a ghost for full time, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see a lot of these males, young boys to men, go Casper. And when they go Casper, they're, mom, dad, none of them, no one will have any effect on you. No one, if they're not. And what's going to happen, you're going to see a clan of Caspers. You're going to see Casper clans. And it's already happening. It's a lot of men that get together that are already Caspers and just enjoy their moment. Like if you watch Casper the Friendly Ghost, you watch the movie, you'll see there were 3 ghosts that were his uncles. They were just best friends. They just stayed together. They interacted with each other best. So you're going to see a lot of men who go Casper only hang out with other Caspers. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see a lot of Casper clans being formed. Guys that will get together, be it through forums. And it's already happening. It's just these guys don't know they're already Caspers. And what you're going to see is that there's already a response to this. Like you see on TikTok, there was a video from a woman that went viral where she said, guys aren't approaching us. Why do you want guys not to approach us? Some of us are shy. Some of us don't know how to talk to guys. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are shy and they might not know how to approach us. Why, the woman said, why don't you want any men to approach us? She said, I don't get it. If men aren't approaching us, then, what's the point? Who are we going to get with? We're not going to be the ones that approach them. Now, she's going to think, she sent out a message out there and, you're going to have some men watch, clap and say, she's on our side. She's on our side. But in reality, the manosphere has over 10 years of knowledge plugged in. I mean, men already know what a chameleon is. Chameleon is a woman that basically says all the right things. You know what I'm saying? Says all the right things that men want to hear. Then when she gets what she wants, she reveals her true self. Then you're going to have what I've discovered called, the simp hunters. Simp hunters are basically women that come into male spaces and still allow the men to run it, still let things go by clearly, but showcase their point of view, their female point of view. And, they stay in these male spaces, but they showcase their point of view to expose the men in that male space that are simps that she could eventually cultivate to become, her simp swords. You know what I'm saying? Simp swords. And a simp sword is different than a white knight because a white knight is basically a man that, that stands up, and white knights for women, but he was never really a part of a male space that stood up for men. So a white knight is different than a simp sword. You know what I mean? So what's happening is a lot of men will listen. These women will point out their issues with men not approaching them and so on. But the men will look at it as, it's about the law. You know what I mean? A lot of men are starting to, when you go Casper, you become completely absorbed to the law and you become a man of no risk. No risk. You become what risk is worth it. You know what I'm saying? What risk is worth losing your freedom? That's the supreme difference between a man going Casper. A man going Casper always references his freedom. What risk in this domestic society that is worth risking his freedom. Relationships, no, nothing. Relationships aren't worth nothing. Nothing's worth risking his freedom. Because one thing that woman did on that video when she said, men aren't approaching us, and if they don't approach us, we know we won't approach them. So, what's the point of this, ladies who demonize men and hate men, whatever? But what she doesn't understand is that the laws don't change. I mean, it's still about, well, a man approaches you, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't approve of him, if you call him a creep, you call him a stalker, whatever it is, that man has legal issues. And what's happening is the women don't get that they're actually over 10 years behind. A lot of women are incorporating tactics that men already identified in the manosphere and in, the black manosphere years ago. So what's going on is that the women, in actuality, as more young boys to men go Casper, it's not really going to harm the men. It's going to actually do far more harm to the women, because as men go Casper domestically, where they just go to they'll go to the restaurant, they'll still go to the bar, they'll eat. You know what I'm saying? If you watch Casper the Friendly Ghost, the girl that got into the house interacted. Ghosts still interact with you. You know what I mean? Ghosts still interact. You could see them, but you can't hold on to them. You can't tie them to anything in this physical world. So what's going to go on is you'll still see guys that are Caspering, socializing. You know what I'm saying? But they socialize with the term that they will not hold on to anything. It's all about what they want to do, and they will not argue. They won't argue with anyone. They just, okay, I came here to drink. Okay. How are people doing? Because, if you watch the movie Casper the Friendly Ghost, Casper was still social. He was still friendly. He was still welcoming and all that. So a lot of guys going Casper doesn't mean you're antisocial. And, some guys will say, well, isn't going Casper the same as being a bachelor? No, you see the difference with a bachelor. The bachelor life tends to, socialize more. Still tends to seek out validation. You know what I'm saying? Look at me, I'm a bachelor, and I get these women, I get that women in society, I get this validation, that validation. You know what I'm saying? But a guy going Casper looks for no validation at all from society. The only thing a guy going Casper looks for is, is success. You know what I'm saying? Going to work. You know what I'm saying? A guy going Casper has no ties to anything that's domestic, legally. You know what I'm saying? He will not get involved. And what's gonna go on is the difference is a bachelor goes out. A bachelor's lifestyle is, very predictable and predetermined by how many females he's interacting with, how he's living that bachelor life. But a guy going Casper, and I see this coming, a lot of guys going Casper, especially since New York has basically ended New York is slowly but coming to legalize prostitution. What's gonna happen with these guys going Casper is that they're gonna be the guys that go to more escort services. They're gonna be the guys that if they go on Tinder, they don't go there for eating or nothing. They're there to sleep and leave. You know what I mean? Sleep with her and leave. Casper has no point for attachments. And the thing is, the Tinder and these apps have actually made it easy. I mean, you put your profile on Tinder, your face, your height, where you're at and all that stuff. There's no point beyond that level of information. You know what I'm saying? So all of the information needed to ensure you're secure, it's there. Sleep and leave, So Casper will not be a guy that seeks to have any validation from society at all. You know what I'm saying? He's going to live his life with the awareness that he cannot be tied to anything domestically if they're not another Casper. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see a lot of clans, Casper clans, come up, you know. And the thing is, what women don't realize is that it's going to end up like the movie. If you watch the movie Casper, the Friendly Ghost, it was all about that girl turning Casper back into a real boy, as in a living being. And what's going to happen with the rise of men going Casper is that women will have to take action legally to actually make these men go back to physical interaction. You know what I'm saying? The Casper, going Casper is that mode where a man will not consider anything emotional at all. Emotion has no value. You know, you gotta understand, a ghost has no beating heart. You know what I'm saying? No heartbeat for a ghost. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these men are becoming. And technically that's them going back to manhood full time. You know what I'm saying? As a man, if you're not connected to anything, you know what I'm saying, what's the point? You know, why be connected to something emotional when you don't own it or have any authority? So what's going to happen to these, and the reason it's going to have such a major side effect on women is that one thing they talk about in the manosphere is artificial insemination, you know, where a woman will freeze her eggs until she meets the right man. And that's usually, I think to do that is 10,000 to 35,000. It's a very expensive procedure to remove the eggs. Then you got to pay to put the eggs back. But the thing is, the majority of women can't afford to do that. The majority of women can't afford the artificial insemination or freezing their eggs. The majority of women can't afford to freeze their eggs. So what's going to happen is, you know what I'm saying? What's happening is that every day, the longer men stay as Caspers, the longer men stay as Casper, every hour to every day, a woman turns, you know, a woman ages and reaches that point of no return with her fertility. And now you go on TikTok, some women are doing it for humorous activity, for comedy's sake, saying, "Oh, men aren't approaching me and I look so beautiful." You know, they're virtue signaling, you know, to get some simp in their DM to, you know what I'm saying, say, "Oh, you know, maybe he was not aware of your beauty, my queen. You know, some men cannot take nor have the valor to approach such a beautiful woman, a woman of such as you, so divine that the moonlight shines between the glittering sight of your eyes." Well, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women are virtue signaling, going chameleon, you know what I'm saying, and virtue signaling. "I look so good, I went outside, no man approached me." But the thing is, it's getting louder. You know what I'm saying? It's getting louder and louder. More women are saying men aren't approaching. And what's happening is that, you know, we're in the dating app age. And what happened is a lot of men are understanding that what dating apps have done. What dating apps have done, and I did this on a video called Dating Drought, Dating Desert. You know what I'm saying? What dating apps have done is it's given women the ability to just filter through the men they want to interact with. And it's also given men a similar aspect. And then you add in all the factors that have come. I mean, you have seeking arrangements, which is basically you pay a woman to be your girlfriend and all that stuff. Then you have OnlyFans where you're paying. And I did a video on OnlyFans called Online Simp versus the Offline Simp. You know what I mean? It touches up on it, but basically, men will go to these cam girls and get their fill of female interaction and female validation. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on is these apps and all this stuff is that men know physical interaction, they have more to lose. As I said on the dating simulation, a woman could pull out her phone, put you on blast, on live, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of men are looking at that, their character, is on the line. That's why I say a lot of men are looking at the world as there's no off days being a man at all. You gotta dodge, you gotta walk a certain way, you can't say certain things, you can't be in certain places, blah blah blah. So a lot of men, when they go Casper, the side effect is that, and why this woman said men aren't approaching, and if you look at her from that video, I think she was probably, I'd say 23 to 26. So a lot of women are aging out, aging out of the point of, you know, healthy fertility. And a lot of young men to men in general, young boys to men, are realizing that, dude, if you have a kid with a woman later, there's a higher risk of that kid being born with mental illnesses. Then you got to front the bill for that. So, the men already know the risk of child support and all this stuff. So men are realizing, as I said on a video I made, short-term interactions, men are realizing that, dude, there is no long term. There is no short term, because it all leads to you as a man being subservient and submissive. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men are realizing that you get married, you have children, you'll become her assistant. That's why you see men walking around pushing the baby stroller, with the baby on their chest while the wife is just drinking coffee. And the danger of that is that when a criminal attacks, they will attack the man first. Or if they attack the woman, how can he defend her when he has the child around his stomach? You know what I mean? So a lot of young boys to young men are realizing, yo, man, there's no point in long term. It's all about you agreeing to servitude and enslavement. So a lot of men are realizing, man, the only way to go about this is to be Casper. Go Casper, man. Go Casper. When you go Casper, no emotional attachments. No attachments based on attraction. No attachments unless there's payment. A lot of men are gonna go the payment route, and you could see them legalizing prostitution in New York. The thing about the government is the government works like this. The government doesn't apologize. The government looks at something negative happening, like, for example, the media's been pushing up this word for women that are prostitutes. They call them night workers. You know what I'm saying? Night workers, you know what I'm saying? I think it was night workers. Yeah, night workers. So, or, night workers, you know what I'm saying? And they're calling them that to ease the blow. The media always is part of the government. You know what I'm saying? The media can always signal where the laws are going to be changed. So what happened is they call them night workers. And when Conan-19, this epidemic, Conan-19, a destroyer, happened, there was a lot of media, I think Time Magazine and a lot of them, that were basically pointing out that night workers, you know what I'm saying, night workers or night walkers, whatever they call it, are not making any money. They can't make a living. And even during OnlyFans, they pointed out that the night workers aren't making any money. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men are realizing, man, you know what I mean? So the government sees that, and the government will legalize it. And the government will say, see, the women that were night workers need to make money and earn a living. You know what I'm saying? The government will not place any accountability on itself. This is why the government is kind of pushed out the abortion laws on certain states. They wanna make it seem like they're doing the right thing and this is what women want and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So they can ease the blame. So what's going on also is there was a Time magazine, it was on the cover, a Time magazine where they had a woman just sitting down on her computer, you know what I mean, in a dirty room on her computer on her phone. And it basically showed them, it said modern day woman. You know what I mean? A lot of young men, a lot of young boys to young men, a lot of boys to men are realizing, dude, a lot of the chicks now aren't even fit to be motherly or nurturing at all. They're too focused on chasing trends and sexuality, competing sexually. So with their image, over sexualizing their image. So a lot of men are looking at it and saying, okay, she's gonna have great bedding skills, on bed skills. You know what I mean? Off bed, she has nothing. So on the bed, great skills. On bed skills might be amazing. But off the bed, no skill at all. Can't cook, can't clean, can't hug you, can't talk to you, can't hold you, can't be warm or supportive at all without seeing that as a man abusing his authority or patriarchy. You know what I mean? A lot of men are realizing that, you know, the woman they have now is so focused on they fell so hard for the corporate talk. You know, corporations got women to believe, and this is how lost the modern woman is. The corporations got women to openly say, if I'm at the if and here's the thing, you don't even know if the women even all said it completely, because you know how the media works. They can spin a story no matter what they want, but the government and corporations which wanted feminism utilize it to suppress male earnings and to suppress innovation. You know what I'm saying? They openly got women to say, you working 8 hours in the kitchen for your loving and supportive family is slavery. But you working for a corporation for over 18 hours is freedom. You know, a cold-hearted corporation that is only dealing with you because they hired you. That is fulfillment, that is nurturing, that is love. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men have realized what they have, what's on the offer, what they have to look forward to, which is someone being antagonistic to them, not supportive, nor even them having any authority. You know what I mean? I made that video. I recommend anyone watch it, it's probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? That talks about the trappings of family. Watch The Biological Stepfather. Again, Biological Stepfather. And you can watch the video MLS, Male Limitation Society. Watch that video. I recommend that for any young boy to man to watch. It's gonna tell you everything you need to know. But what's going on is a lot of men are going Casper. And when they go Casper, there's no return. What's gonna happen, and the women will basically be put on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the other cheap things, one of the cliche and stupid sayings you'll hear is when a man tells a woman, okay, we both work. You're gonna pay half the dinner. Oh, you're so cheap. Now here's the counter to that argument. So a woman's willing to buy a Prada bag, clothing, and invest in those, but you will not invest in the relationship. That automatically tells a man where her mindset is at, you know. So she's not willing to invest in the relationship and in that man's time. Then what's the point? What is the worth of that encounter? Nothing, you know. But a lot of boys to men will go Casper, and when they go Casper, nothing can shame. You know, I said the manosphere is over 10 years. You know, MGTOW was the major explosion of the manosphere. You know what I mean? I plan to do a video on MGTOW and, its flaws. I used to be on that heavy. But, MGTOW exposed a lot, man. You know what I mean? It's still exposing stuff to this day. You know what I mean? And what's going on is everything the women are pointing out, the men have been prepped for this for over 10 years. You go to the oldest content from the manosphere, men have been talking about chameleons, women that will project, we deserve strong men. I want to go back to the patriarchy. And here's the thing, guys. We are in the patriarchy. The government is run by men. You know what I mean? The majority of the government by men, for men. But, well, no, actually, it's by men to maintain the government. I need to make a video on the government. You know what I'm saying? I just focuses on that. But basically, man, we're still in the patriarchy, but it's now designed, you know what I'm saying? The whole feminism thing was a Trojan horse for the government to effectively decimate and affect male lives without leading to war. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of men are basically looking at their options and looking at life and saying, man, I go Casper, I'm going to be myself all the time. I'm going to be happy. I'm gonna be cool and calm. I'm going to be chilled. And then I can hang with other guys that are doing the same thing. We could play some games. We could go get a drink. We could, play some basketball, go on the court. You know what I'm saying? None of us are getting married. None of us have any plans to get, none of us are getting girlfriends, wives, no long-term relationships, no short-term relationships. Because here's the thing, MGTOW and the manospheres told men about common law marriage. I mean, there was a video, I forget who did it, but there was a video, it might have been Sydney MGTOW. Shout out to Sydney. But it might have been him, but he did a video, it might have been him, but it was a video about, there was a homeless woman and a man moved her in to help her out. And she started destroying and wrecking his stuff, so he wanted her kicked out, but they said, nope, she's got to stay here for another 3 to 6 months, and you know what I mean, this and that. Then there was also the common law marriage where a guy in Canada got common law marriage because he flew a girl, he used to hang with her and flew her back and forth sometimes. So now he's locked for common law marriage for children that ain't even his. He's paying alimony. The thing is this, all the men are prepared. And what the men are gonna go, and they're gonna go Casper, the full-time ghost effect. And and when you go full-time ghost, no man will have any plans to ever get into anything long-term at all. It's all interactions. You know what I mean? You gotta look at a ghost. You can interact with a ghost. You know what I'm saying? You could see a ghost. You could put your hands through the ghost. You know what I mean? You could potentially summon a ghost and potentially be possessed by a ghost, but you can't hold any physical value with a ghost. So, you know what I'm saying? So a man that goes Casper doesn't plan to have any children. You know what I'm saying? Domestically. You know what I mean? And the men that don't know what the gold pill is or don't know what the black pill is, they will just be domestically forever Caspers. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of forever Caspers out there. Men that don't know there's an option overseas to, transition from a Casper. Example, you could be a Casper domestically. You know what I'm saying? And you could be you could not be a Casper overseas. It's all about the laws. But there's going to be far more men for the time being that'll be, forever Caspers domestically. You know what I mean? We already have a birth decline. The birth rate is dropping. It's plummeting like crazy. It's over 5%, the birth rate decline. The government reported it's 4%, but we know how the government plays. So it's five. Let's say it's 5% and up. The birth decline. You know what I mean? And more men will continue to go Casper or monk, MGTOW monk, as they say. They'll go monk. A lot of men will basically, in all honesty, go Casper. And the thing about Caspering, it's gonna free these men. Because when you don't have any physical ties to anything domestically, shame won't affect you. You won't be disappointed for their validation. Nothing will affect you. You know what I'm saying? You understand that to survive and to thrive, actually to thrive, you have to go Casper. So you're going to see a lot of guys, man. And like I said, dude, when you comment, just use the ghost emoji. You know what I mean? It's not only to let people know you're going Casper, but it's also to remind you to stay Casper. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys, when they go Casper, the problem, when a MGTOW, like you'll see a MGTOW monk. You know what I mean? There's the whole going monk thing where I don't sleep with women, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times it has to do with I don't sleep with them because they haven't become virtuous yet. I can't obtain the validation or the experience of what I mean, what they call it. I just lost the word. Is it victorious? Voluptuous. Virtuous. Yeah, you know what I mean? So a lot of times the guys that go monk, I made a video called False Monking. Basically, a lot of guys go monk because they're awaiting the return of the virtuous woman. Like they're waiting more than they're awaiting the return of Jesus. The guys that go Casper aren't waiting for nothing. They understand that they're a full-time ghost. They're Casper. They're Caspering. So they can't have any attachments. They can't want anything from the physical or emotional realm. Their hearts no longer beat. There is no pulse in a Casper's heart. You know what I mean? And a Casper exists in a point of they just do what they want. You know what I mean? They do what they want, and as long as it keeps them away from any legal issues and all that. So being a Casper will be self-fulfilling. You know what I mean? Fulfilling, high-level fulfillment for men. You know what I mean? Because once you go Casper, you're not bound by anything domestically. It don't matter if it's a holiday. Oh man, it's Christmas. Oh, okay, what about it? Oh man, it's Halloween. Okay, what about it? You know what I'm saying? A Casper literally only does what they want within the realm of it's not a risk to their freedom. And a lot of women virtue signaling and playing chameleon will basically say, but aren't you scared of being alone? Because the women tend to project their emotions on others as shame. You know what I mean? But it won't work. The Casper will see, I was born alone and I don't see the problem. If I was never alone, how would I be born? You know what I'm saying? The Casper will be an extremely logical man. There is no emotion. You can't shame a Casper. Yeah, but you could die alone and you won't experience children. But a Casper will say, well, actually, you won't experience children, because if no man has a child with you by a certain age, you won't experience children. I, on the other hand, could be 50 years old and experience that if I so do choose to. So a lot of men go on Casper. And another thing is most men go on Casper won't even reply. They won't. Shame tactics won't work. It won't do nothing. Casper is not ignoring it. Casper goes through it. It doesn't exist. A ghost has no physical connections. You know what I mean? So what's gonna go on, and a lot of the women will have to make a decision. I think the girl's name in Casper the Friendly Ghost was Wendy. A lot of girls gonna have to make a choice. And if you watch the movie Casper the Friendly Ghost, the girl had to figure out a way to turn Casper back into a living boy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of women now will have to make a decision. And a lot of the men already know they won't. So as a majority, you know what I mean? But the internet allows things to go viral. Like the girl that said, you telling men don't approach us. Why are you saying this? And it went viral. That's the power of the internet, is that one person's voice could go viral and be loud as a million voices. But what's gonna happen is, you'll have more women say that, but legally now, it's gonna be up to women. Women will have to basically ask for petitions to fix child support, to fix alimony, to fix all these things, and to remove the government from the relationship. Because like I said on the last stream, it's funny how you'll hear women tell a man, love conquers all, and love is all we need. If that's true, then why do I need to sign a marriage license? Why do I need to give you a ring? I mean, we're in love, aren't we? If we're in love, then why do I need to give you anything that must be validated by others? Isn't our love supposed to be the only validation that is needed? You know what I mean? So a lot of men already know the game. And what's going on is a lot of these women are going to find out. And they're finding out the hard way. They're going to learn that they're the ones who are going to have to sign a petition, because the thing is this, the clock continues to tick for women towards being infertile. And being infertile, gaining more weight as younger women are born to replace them. So a lot of women, it ain't gonna hurt us men. I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say 5 years from now, alimony is abolished. You know what I'm saying? Alimony, or is, fixed, whatever. Alimony's been fixed. Child support's been fixed. The divisive bias towards men and women and the law has been fixed. 5 years from now, let's say it's 5 years from now, and let's say a lot of men didn't get married until that changed. That means all those women that every day were becoming too old to have children, becoming too at a point of age where they could not bear a healthy child, they lost out. That means in 5 years, all the women that, got too old and aged out of being able to provide a man a healthy child and being of her youth and her maximum beauty, whatever, her maximum health to bring to the table, it will be gone for them. And as you could see with the laws, the biggest thing about feminism is that feminism fuels and utilizes old women to attack younger women. Because the problem with women is that they can't relate to each other when they get to a certain age. For example, a woman that's 40, let's say she's 40, and a girl that's 21. You know what I'm saying? A girl that's 21 could have a healthy child, could have multiple children, is at her prime youth and all that stuff, her body, everything's all there. The woman that's 40 can't have children. If she does, it's high risk, isn't at her prime youth, you know what I'm saying? And they both, the only thing they can relate to each other is they both offer the man the same thing, a level of female companionship that will never equal that of a male companion. You know what I'm saying? They just could be a woman in that man's life, cook, clean, support and care, whatever. But the difference between a 40-year-old woman and a 21-year-old woman is that the 21-year-old woman could provide that man children, multiple children, maximize her youth for the man, so he's sacrificing his, working and all that for her at her best and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a major difference between the older women and the younger women. I plan to make a video, but basically the older women get in a loop. And if you could see a lot of feminists and all that, a lot of times they basically punish younger women. Like if a chick's too old and in her 30s, oh, where have all the good men gone? All men are pigs, all men are dogs. They've tried to molest me, blah, blah, blah. They demonize men. So the younger women can't have a healthy interaction with with the men. You know what I'm saying? And even older men. You know what I mean? 21-year-old with a 40-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? They can't get healthy interaction. That'll blossom into having children. I plan to make a video on women, more detailed. But basically, a lot of men will go Casper, man. And when they go Casper, they're not returning. The women have to return the men. They have to turn. The difference between going monk, going bachelor, and going Casper is that the Casper effect. And you know what I mean? Once you go Casper there is no going back. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't go back because it's a commitment that you're completely removed from your domestic society from a physical standpoint and a mental whatever. These men going Casper will still do business deals, still lobby this and that, but these men won't be fighting for male rights. They won't be dealing with anything that has to do with men and women. You know what I'm saying? They're here to just get what they gotta get, do what they gotta do, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? They're basically, completely tuned out the world. Tuned out the whole domestic nation and country they're in. Once they go Casper, they just seek out the joy and what they can control. You know what I mean? And once a man goes Casper and enjoys that feeling of absolute freedom, that feeling that he's not pressured. Oh man, I'm turning 30. Oh man, I'm not worried about marriage. That's not even an option. That's not even a thing on the table. Children domestically, it's not at all. None of this has anything to do with me. So a lot of men will go Casper, man. And there's going to be a lot of clans, Casper clans, a lot of men that just align as Caspers. You'll see them in game tournaments. You'll see them in interactions with their fellow man in a safe space. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to see women, like I said, you'll see chameleons and you'll see simp hunters. You know what I'm saying? Simp hunters will most likely be the female gamers, you know what I'm saying, that go into a majority male space and seek to expose and attract men that she can weaponize as her simp swords. You're going to see a lot of them come into gaming, speak on, like you go watch 21 Studios, he's doing this thing where you upload videos of women supporting patriarchy and all that. And I mean, I don't blame them for doing that content. I mean, if they're going to do it, you might as use what they're doing anyway. I mean, it's the same thing the government does with feminism. So why not utilize the women to just bring about some, profit and some eyes to the prize, So to me, I don't blame them on that. But the thing is, the women can speak up all they want. Men don't care about speaking. Talking means nothing. Talk is cheap. After over 10 years of MGTOW in the manosphere, and the black manosphere has been here for even longer than that. You know what I'm saying? So to the point where less than 40 there's a 40% of black men don't even have children. You know what I'm saying? SYSBM. You know what I mean? Save yourself, black man. A lot of men are doing that, and eventually more men will take the black pill. The black pill, which is the whole truth. And the black pill, unlike the red pill is basically the glass half filled. And the black pill is the glass full. You know what I mean? It basically breaks down all the dynamics between men and women and the truth of this country. There is no hope in the black pill. There is only truth, the whole truth. And it is basically logic, it is basically absolute logic without any aspect of hope in it. Because, you know what I mean? No aspect of dreams and all that BS. So basically, man, a lot of men are gonna go Casper. And when you realize and look at yourself and say, damn, I don't have any emotional ties. I don't have any stress at all. I just get to be Casper and just chill and enjoy life. I'm not stressed at all, dude. I'm living. I'm gaming with my bros. I'm traveling with the homies. I'm going to parties here and there. I'm chilling with some chicks here and there. Maybe it's P2P, pay to play, whatever. You know what I'm saying? No emotional attachments, no long-term relationships at all. No short-term. A lot of guys are gonna go Casper. And Casper will override The Bachelor because The Bachelor is all about risk. A Bachelor is basically about, if you look at bachelorhood and how it's promoted, how many men he's bet, how many women he's betting, and how much he appeals to women and all this and that. It's how much he appeals to risk. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see a lot of guys go Casper, and when they go Casper, man, it's gonna be damn near impossible for them to come back unless the laws change. Because just like Casper the Friendly Ghost, she had to change him back into a human. You know what I'm saying? A human being. You know what I mean? She had to change him back. And what's gonna happen is that unless women step up legally with petitions for child support and abortion and all this stuff, you know what I mean? Then, the men ain't gonna stop being Casper. Not gonna stop going Casper, man. You know what I mean? Because when you go Casper, you're only looking at the laws. When you look only at the laws as you should, a man will realize, the woman he's potentially dating is a pawn. It's a pawn of the government. Then the man, shout out to Joe Blosif. You realize that as a man, you can't overcome the incentives the government has. The government has trillions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta go against men that are, feminized. The women that are feminists. There's no point. And at any given time, said woman you're with, said pawn, could transition and stab you in the back legally. You know what I mean? Women get less time for any domestic assault or even murder. So what's the point? A lot of men, what's happened is this: men have accepted, a lot of boys and men have accepted that we're not equal. Not only are we not equal in the physical aspect, but we're not equal in the eyes of the law. So a lot of men and a lot of young boys who go Casper will accept that and will not have any problems. I mean, like I always tell guys, there's no point. You don't need to be angry at women at all. Women are a reflection of the laws. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They got no power over the system. They live on allowance. And they're allowed this and allowed that. And, They're being used as pawns. I mean, men have basically ruled the world forever. You can't name one time that a woman basically conquered a country. You can't. And even if you can, in the micro aspect, compared to all the majority of men that did it, it equals nothing. So, you know what I mean? So basically, man, what's going on is men will go Casper. And when they go Casper, nothing in this world will affect them. Trends don't mean. So let me try to do it. When you go Casper, no emotional attachments, no physical attachments. You know what I'm saying? No attachments to hope. No defining your actions based on hope. No disobeying or discounting the laws. There's no discounting the laws. You live by the law. The law is what you live by. You're aware of it at all times, aware of the laws at all times. Then you will only trust other Caspers. You will only trust other Caspers. And 6, they to return to transition from a Casper, the laws must deem it so. The laws must afford you to return to, relieve yourself of being a Casper. You know what I mean? So there's a lot, man. And there's a lot, man. So what's coming, and like I said, the women will be affected because as more men go Casper, as more men take the black pill, as more men take the gold, especially the gold pill. Once men take the gold pill, it's over. You know what I mean? Once a man's eyes open to the world and he returns to the oldest, job a man ever had, which is travel. Once a man returns to that, there's no going back. You know what I'm saying? There's no going back at all. So a lot of women got to be aware it's coming. It's happening. The men are going Casper. And once they go Casper, there is no, you know what I mean? Unless the laws change, nothing's going to affect these men. They're not going to invest into anything. Because once you're a Casper, you don't have, that's the other rule 7. Once you're a Casper, you have no physical heartbeat. You have no physical heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? You're a ghost full time. You know what I mean? So once you go Casper, man, it's over. You know what I mean? There is no physical attachment. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But we'll see. Well, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. We would hold the truth hostage. Remember, guys, when you go Casper, start your comments with a ghost and end it with a ghost. You know what I mean? Let people know you're going Casper. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it, because what do you have to lose? Nothing. Because you're already not connected to anything. Unless they're a fellow ghost. And here's the thing, only the, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about the manosphere, it's a straight thing, man. It's a straight thing. You know what I mean? So only men that will go Casper really is your fellow straight man, because you're going against, you're going away from the stuff that would try to bind you here. I mean, in the manosphere, there's the red pill rage, and a lot of men don't explain what it is. They just say, "Oh, it's a rage, it's an anger." No, the red pill rage is literally the culture shock, the domestic culture shock that your whole life, you trying to have a child, you trying to continue, start a family, will be the means of your destruction. And now that you got, Slim Thug talking about Dr. Dre and men being on strike from marriage, oh, it's only gonna be more mainstream. The Casper lifestyle is going to be mainstream, and I give it that. Odds are, and I'll say this to guys watching this, I plan to make a video. Put the term Casper on Wikipedia. Just give me just give me my respect. Just put, hold the truth hostage, term by hold the truth hostage, blah, blah, blah. Just give me my recognition and respect for it. But other than that, man, it's going to become the way of life. And going Casper will basically be, you know, guys just being free, man. You know what I mean? It's like you'll hit up your homie. You might be like, yo, man, I want to go camping. Oh, all right, cool. I got no work. I got none. It's not holding me back at all. So, all right, I'm down. Yo, man, I want to go party in Vegas. All right, cool. I got none holding me back. It's gonna basically free a man to only spend and utilize his resources on himself. When you go Casper, all your resources go towards you. You know what I'm saying? The only companion you'll have is your fellow Caspers and potentially a pet, a dog or a turtle or whatever it is when you go Casper. So the thing is, man, it's gonna alter everything. It's gonna change the whole world. It's gonna change the whole domestic country. And I'll be doing more videos on going Casper. I might even chop it up, but you'll see me mention it a lot more because now it is one of the ultimate solutions. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, I would say you can't, if you don't go Casper, you would have to take, when you take the black pill, you have to go Casper. And in your domestic society, besides going to work, and like I said, you can see a ghost, you could wave hello, you could talk to a ghost, but the ghost won't give you a ride home. The ghost will not be alone with you anymore. The ghost won't talk to you. There will be no personal time because a ghost is not bound, to anything, besides his fellow ghosts going Casper. So, man, going Casper is going to be real. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men are already going Casper. So, it's something else, man. We'll see. Hopefully some other guys in the manosphere listen to this and, put out their own perspective on going Casper. Because, it's going to be the future, all your resources for you. Oh man, it's gonna be something else. But this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, wouldn't negotiate with lies, peace. We would hold the truth hostage.